Hello, welcome to another episode of Understand Nation. -1. Nick can't join us today, but
Right.
still got Aura and myself to keep you company. So, we're about ready to wrap up August.
Well, when you
got
watch it, it
the
is
last
going to wrap up.
Yep. So, we'll and by then we'll start kicking off our bingo board. We'll see how that goes. So
Yeah. I feel like that there are stuff that we could have marked off if it happened just a few days later.
Looking at you, BTS, breaking them records.
Right? Alright, so can I say we had a whiplash of songs this week?
Oh yeah. Like there was so many different kinds of just from the various different kinds of concepts and genres, images throughout the week. So yeah, it was pretty intriguing to say the least. A few of those we'll be talking about. In fact, one of those is the first in the lineup. So, bro, you want to bring it in?
Yeah. So, anyone who's been a fan of X1, who watched Produce X101, knows the absolutely talented, who has way too much talent in him that he needs to share it with the rest of us. Kim Yohan.
Man hit the genetic lottery,
right? It's not fair, but he just released his, what was it? Solo debut, No More. Yep.
So, No More. There's no real good way of like starting off any kind of talks about this song and music video other than like it's adorable.
Right?
It is absolutely adorable.
It definitely plays into his youth.
Yeah, so like, and to be honest, I was actually really relieved because so we've seen a lot of other like male soloists and groups debut, right?
Right.
And what do they debut as? Hard, masculine, ultra masculine concept, right?
Right.
And if you remember when I talked about like Pentagon's Hump or what's that other song from the 80s where they kind of show off that youthful playfulness, cutesiness that we don't really see a lot from male artists and especially boy groups.
You usually don't see it as the debut. You usually see it as maybe a comeback, especially in the beginning of the summer.
Right, when they're established. And so,
well, not always when they're established. It's just more when because if you look at Cravity, for example, they started with a kind of a harder concept, and their comeback earlier this summer was more cutesy.
But they had a blow up of a debut. They already had multi-millions of views.
True.
So when I say like established, I don't mean like they've got a long presence in the industry that everybody knows what they're all about. Like they're better known. So, and in this sense, like right here, I think this is a great play, to be honest, because if you've watched Produce X101 like we have, you'll be familiar with his personality. Like he's got this really fun kind of
quirky,
like, almost kind of innocent, quirky, cute personality, like naturally. So to have that put on display naturally is great. And it plays so well in the song, like especially in part in the choreography where he's just going like, right, like, come on now.
I don't think I don't think either one of us can pull it off as well as him.
No, like there's no way that we can do it like as well as him. He just does it so well. Especially with that cute smile. Like, come on now. Yeah. So this song is. We haven't even talked about the song itself yet, have we?
It's fun. It's fun. It's energetic. And then it's
energetic, even though it's kind of down tempo. It's a so for the musical component, it's a lot of R&B, hip hop.
Right.
So for that type of instrumentation, and his vocal style in the song too is really more along the lines of R&B hip hop.
Right.
Well, not hip hop, R&B. Kind of funk. So
you can hear some auto tune in it. And
yep.
And this is something that Nick has repeated over and over. Auto tune isn't bad, you know.
No. The way they use the auto tune in the song for stylistic purposes, stylistic flair, I thought it was really well executed because something that you've heard me say before, right? One of the reasons why I love groups is the variety of vocal styles, vocal deliveries, vocal timbres. So for a soloist to use autotune to kind of change up the way their vocals sound in the middle of the song, it's great. It kind of gives me, people like me, that variety that we love.
Exactly.
So,
and
yeah, I have no complaints with this song at all.
It's really good, and I like how they use the color orange to highlight the high energy, the more playful side of things. And a lot of pastel colors that you usually see with girl groups that when they
girl
first
groups
debut,
or when they do like retro throwbacks to like the 70s.
Exactly.
So like more recently BTS with disco.
Yep, exactly.
Disco, yeah. Or not disco, Dynamite, I mean. Dynamite was a disco-inspired song. So.
Yeah. How bad if that offends you. But no.
The song, because it's also it's all really down tempo as well. It's such a chill vibe song, really. Even for people like us who really actively listen to music, it's
you can passively listen to this song very
well. It works either way. It's a song that I could definitely just relax to over some coffee, tea.
I think Xeon T did a really good job producing this song.
Yeah, absolutely. So
yeah,
he knew what he was working with. He made very good use of who he was working with.
Exactly.
Even with the like the back dancers, they function very well as
support.
Support, yeah, exactly. I almost said props, and I was like, that doesn't do justice either.
So like they did what backup dancers are supposed to do: support the dancer, support the artist. They were there. It's not as well as BTS's backup dancers, but they did almost as good of a job.
Yeah, like one of the important things with backup dancers too is like they, unless that's a theme, unless it's the theme that they all completely look exactly the same, that they don't have no individuality. Here, and just like with BTS's songs, they have enough individuality that they stand out, but they don't overtake the artist.
Yeah, and
or they're not too loud that they attract too much attention to themselves.
Right. And that I really like that. And then the costume designer, the prop designer, they chose the right things, like stuffed animals, the walls, just to help accent, and the balloons. And when he popped them, like gold sparkles came out. They chose the right stuff to accentuate the Yohan's youth, his energy. They did such an amazing job.
Yeah. Speaking of an amazing job too, like about a minute in, there's a scene where it's him surrounded by the backup dancers. They're all dancing in a choreography together. The backup dancers are all wearing pastel blue or yellow button-up shirts with ties and khakis, white shoes. But Yohan is contrasting all of them with these really loud yellow pants and like this polo shirt that has like red, yellow, and like gray or blue stripes on it. Like and like his left and right shoes are like mismatched colors, like blue and red. So but like, I know, like the way I describe it, it just sounds so awful. And to be honest, I would never wear something like that in public. And there's only like a handful of people who could pull off that kind of look in public. So,
but it
works.
It
works
great because it works for Yohan's quirkiness.
And for the context of the video too, because
exactly.
Again, he's popping out on the backdrop of all these other dudes who they're dressed well, but because they're dressed the same as well,
they blend into the background.
Exactly. So,
but
yeah, dude, it was a great experience.
If again, if you've watched Produce X101, one of the first things you notice about him was when he kind of for his tryout or whatever it was called.
Yeah, the initial evaluation.
Yeah, the evaluation where he kind of those shoes with the wheels at the bottom when he came in on those.
Yeah, the Heelys.
Yeah, Heelys. That's what it was called. When he came in on those, you could tell he had that quirky personality.
Yeah, he had that quirky, fun, cute personality, and so that's why, to be honest, when you first broke the news that he was having his solo debut, a part of me kind of cringed inside. I'm like, oh my god, please don't let him debut with this ultra hard, ultra masculine, concept that just doesn't suit him. Let his natural personality shine.
This definitely let his personality shine.
I'm so relieved and I'm so happy. And it is so well done.
I mean, if you've seen his reactions with interactions with Jesse, even then you see his quirky personality and contrast, but works well with Jesse's. So,
Jesse. So in a strange way, Jesse can be strangely cute.
Yeah.
So if you watched her on Running Man, so it's that clumsiness, because she's not as proficient at Korean.
Exactly.
So when she's talking to Jae-suk or whatever, and she's she misspeaks a lot. That and just the way she reacts to her own mistakes, it's strangely cute. So her and Yohan together, I think that will be an amazing experience to watch. Just watching the two of them. So you have to share that with me later on because I want to watch that.
All right.
So. Okay, so enough about talking about how cute Kim Yohan is. If there was a counter for that, I wouldn't be surprised if we exceeded 50. So let's take it into our next one.
All right.
Another Produce X101 related group. A few of the members are in it. Cravity with Flame. So, Aura, I don't know. Why don't you go start us off with your takes on it?
So, I believe it was June when they released their other when they released their comeback was cuter, but this Flame actually goes back to, I feel like, the theme of their debut song.
Yep, there's a lot of that kind of masculine strength. There's some chicness to it. So.
Right. The themes, is very much of trying to rebel or trying to break free and face reality and whatever.
Yeah. So as with the title, Flame, right? There's lots of red, lots of orange, and we've talked about it before, where those are colors for kind of showing off strength and passion.
Right.
And especially with the lyrics of the song too, there is definitely a lot of passion infused into it. So, for the musical component, it's really it's a lot of trap hip hop. So I mean, as you're gonna kind of notice, that's been the theme of the week so far.
Right.
There's been a lot of kind of trap with the other releases as well. So.
It's very much the opposite of what Yohan's was. Right.
Yeah, exactly. So this is the concept that I was afraid that Yohan was going to debut with, and it was a great play that he didn't. So going back to Cravity, I actually liked it. Even though I've said before, I'm pretty burnt out on trap. More specifically, I would say that I'm more burnt out on the down tempo trap with that requires like a lot of heavy percussion for maintaining the momentum, like heavy momentum to a song. So this song, it is kind of down tempo. But it's still got enough for me. You know, it's still especially with the effects layers that they put into the song, and again, because it's a group, there's a variety of vocalists, vocal styles, vocal timbers. So, in fact, I think what really helps it too is the fact that they use a lot of kind of soul R&B style vocal deliveries for the song. And as you know, R&B, soul are genres that I love, especially for those vocal styles.
Yeah.
What other takes you got for the song? Huh?
I mean, for me, like, I was more into obviously the video part. I'm never going to stop viewing the video. It was so well done. The effects, the lighting, how it was put together, and how all the camera work that was done to try to accentuate each of the members. It was so well done. Definitely credits to the camera people. They did a lot. And using, I'm going to assume either it's a fog machine or dry ice. Probably a fog machine too.
For the amount of fog that they had in those scenes, I would assume a fog machine.
Yeah. I mean, I think I would have preferred dry ice because it adds a different kind of effect to it.
And dry ice is more persistent to staying close to the floor. Yeah.
So
whereas like a fog machine, it tends to like bellow everywhere, so it's a lot more.
That's kind of why that's why I said either or. Obviously I'm not there to see it, but how it was on Hyunjin and kind of just flowed around him.
So I can kind of see that's what they were going for in that scene where they wanted that fog to kind of bellow and float around him and envelop him.
Right.
So yeah, and for that, cause it's especially like when you're talking about going back to the lyrics, right? With talking about not afraid, and not letting that
the fear envelop you.
Envelop you, yes, exactly. So you knew exactly what I was alluding to.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think that was a great play there.
Yeah. It's all about like basically rising up, kind of like a flame, alluding to maybe a phoenix or something like that. I think it's well done. Although like I would say, my only problem is that I feel like this does kind of would get lost in the generic boy group kind of see. I'm not saying it's a bad song. Definitely not saying, and it does deserve the credit. But I feel like the themes, the thematics, can be very much lost in how
in the sea.
Yeah.
Just like you said, lost in the sea of all the other boy groups who released similar concepts to this, and I can definitely see that for sure. Because like for people who don't follow K-pop as much as we do, people who aren't as analytical as we are, on first glance you'll probably see it here and be like, it's another boy group,
right?
So, and which is a shame because there's a lot of nuances here that I think this is one of the better executed songs and videos.
Starship did a good job in choosing who to produce this music video. I mean, I don't know fully at what goes into that they do to kind of like choose who, but I think that they at least did a good job in choosing who to hire, because you do see very similar lighting situations with the bars and whatever. I don't think you see very much fog. I'm actually glad that they didn't use the water scene for this.
The water scene that we've been seeing in every other music videos as of late.
Yeah. So I'm glad that they didn't use the water scene because I was starting to feel like I actually was suspecting that they were going to use a water scene, so I'm actually grateful.
That's kind of like a contrast to what you're talking about with the flame, which I could see that. I could see that happening. So.
Like, because you can use water to kind of contrast flames easily, you know. So I think it very much a good choice, but my only real concern is that it is easily lost. Would easily be lost as if you watch a lot of K-pop,
right?
And you know,
yeah. But don't get me wrong. The song, don't get us wrong. The song is very well executed. Very well done. The song was very enjoyable. You know, even with like what I've said before about being so burnt out on trap. It's still a song that I can enjoy. So, should
we move it on because I feel like we're starting to review.
I was gonna say that is gonna take us into our next group at ATEEZ with THANXX. So, ATEEZ and THANXX. Another song with a lot of trap in it, but it's more of a dance type of energetic trap delivery. And this one is really more, I guess, more close to my style of a trap song. Really,
is it?
Yeah. So like, 'cause, you know, Stray Kids, right? We talked about how Stray Kids, they do a lot of club dance songs.
Okay.
With trap, like either trap underpinnings or fully featured trap accompaniment, but done in a much more like dance club style. So this is a much more up-tempo dance type of song, and even with the vocal deliveries too, it's a lot more hip hop oriented as well. So I really enjoyed it actually. You know, it was a song that it did very well with getting me to wanna get to grooving and just dancing.
Okay,
it was great. So.
I mean, for me, it was really. I'm not as big of a fan of THANXX. I actually prefer Cravity over this song because I feel like it's overly busy.
That's why I liked it. Was because it was busy.
I'm very much the opposite. This is overly busy.
I mean, we've kind of established that before with like even if we talked about ITZY. You don't like busy, intense, like high intensity type of videos. So.
Yeah.
No.
Because there's so many contrasts, huh?
Songs too. Like if you were to just take away the music video element, how would the song appear for you?
Yeah.
It's still too busy.
Yeah.
Still too busy.
A little bit. I find a lot of ATEEZ is a little bit busier for me.
Yeah, because I remember too. Like I thought it was the same with ITZY Dollar Dollar. Like even like the song itself was too much for you, too much going on, too busy.
Yeah, there's so many contrasting elements that it's hard to keep track of everything. And
I love all of that. Like that to me, that to me helps keep things much more interesting and fresh. So. Especially with the way they rapidly change between scenes. So I loved like how they go from one scene to have like they're in the hallway of school with like 4 girls in the background dancing, and a quick cut to like he's in front of a school bus, and a quick cut back. Like I love a lot of that. Like it really helps feed the energy of the song because I love a lot of these type of high energy songs. So.
Yeah, I mean it does fit the aesthetics of having it as high energy and then it's a little bit chaotic, because there's so many contrasting colors as well.
Yes,
but
yeah, I think that, like for me, like that just adds to that excitement. Yeah,
I'm not saying they did a bad job. I'm just saying that for me,
it's just not for you.
Yeah, it's not for me. It's way too busy. I will say that they did a really good job, despite having all those contrasting colors, despite being so busy. They still did a really good job at making the members like the core of the music video. Like, they didn't get lost in the background.
For me, I guess for like the song, the only not real complaint, but I guess observation for myself is, their choreography is just not really my taste. As opposed to like other groups like like MC&D, especially MC&D, Stray Kids. I really love the choreography.
Oh yeah.
ATEEZ, I'm finally coming around to them as a group between this comeback and the previous comeback. But so far, I still have not really, super enjoyed the choreography as I have, as much as I have with like other groups. So. Right. And it's not. I'm not to say that that's bad choreography. It's just not my style. Right. Just like with you in the song and the music video.
Mm-hmm. Like, this is an act. This song very much feels like it's an active listening song. It's not one of those passive listening songs. But
it's an active listening, it's a full body active experience. You should be standing up and dancing along to it.
Exactly. And for me, it's almost overwhelming kind of deal, because if you're watching this music video and you're listening to the song, it's a lot of active. You're actively watching and actively listening, and it just becomes overwhelming. At least for me.
I feel like comparatively, because like I remember before you said like you don't enjoy like what's called like high risk activity sports or like high speed like cars and motorcycles, whereas I really loved all that stuff.
Right.
So like comparatively, I don't know. It's like in my eyes, it almost kind of feels like your threshold for what's overwhelming is like
it's very much different from yours. Yes.
Yeah. Because like for me, I enjoy speed, right? Fast motorcycles, fast cars, fast planes, high risk activities, like combat sports and whatnot, sports like skateboarding and snowboarding and whatnot. I enjoy a lot of that kind of stuff. That thrill of speed and whatnot. Same with like So I think that kind of feeds into like our personality and the type of content that we enjoy. Music.
Yeah. I mean, I very much enjoy the like watch and enjoy. That's probably like enjoy the moment kind of thing,
Which I can do that too.
Yeah.
Like I'm not one of those people. So I don't mean to say like I'm one of those people who are like who have a constant need for.
Right. I'm not saying that either. I'm not saying. But I can. For me, like it's almost an overwhelming sensory kind of thing. And I'm not saying like I dislike all extreme sports. I very much enjoy playing football, being involved in like some extreme sports.
Okay, so you can do football, basketball.
Basketball is a little bit more questionable because of my coordination problems.
So for football, like what kind of position would you normally be doing for football? Like
defend.
Like
I when I played with my friends, I always go for defense and kind of like try to protect who either go after.
Oh, okay. So you'd be like a lineman, basically like an offensive lineman as well, where you're protecting the quarterback or running back, whatever. Exactly. I'm sorry if for you viewers who don't understand American football. I'm sorry. This is me trying to get to know or a bit more. We never really talked about this kind of stuff.
No, we don't.
Before. We've talked a little bit about sports, like maybe like 2 years ago. I think that was like the last time we had a sports related conversation.
My friends rag on me on this all the time. It's because I don't know sports terms. I just do stuff. I just go and do stuff.
You just do stuff. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Well, I think at this point it's a good time for us to move it on to our next one then.
Right. Let's go.
Yeah. Sorry for that. For that little sidetrack there, but
hey, it's a good way to learn more about us.
Yeah, So we got a new debut girl group called Botopass, and her debut track is Flamingo. So as you can tell from the title of the song, it's very much a Latin pop inspired song.
I think this was a group that Nick was looking forward to.
He absolutely was. I mean, it's a new group, a rookie group, potential new group.
Well, not only that, but this is also a group. Well, it's not fully produced by THANXX, but it's partnered.
It's the same. Yeah, partnered. Or the same label that's responsible for his old group SIS is associated with this group. So they would have had at least a hand in producing this group. So I guess some background to that. For the fans of SIS like Nick, there was some concerns within their fandom that why is SIS having a comeback band around the same time as their new group? You thought that maybe
Nick was concerned that they were going to disband SIS soon or something like that.
So for some reason there was like kind of this fear that the two groups can't coexist. And so in my mind, like the first thing I thought of, like, well, it's probably because it's going to be a different concept. As we're seeing here with Botopass, like it's a very different concept from what you normally see with SIS. So because they're much more cute, pretty, pure, fresh kind of concept. Whereas here, Botopass
is more girl crush with like that Latin feel.
Yes. With more of the Latin feel, and even with their vocal delivery, it was very much more into like the Latin pop kind of. Also like some kind of ska type of vocalization as well for the vocal deliveries. So I thought, it was interesting.
I was hoping for a little bit more reggaeton instead, but
yeah, like I'm not even that big on reggaeton, but like I thought reggaeton would have been great too. I honestly thought so. And reggaeton, if you're not familiar, Moombahton is kind of based off of that. So, and because Moombahton, you take reggaeton, add house, make it more up tempo, make it more danceable, and you got Moombahton. Reggaeton is much more slower paced, much more down tempo. With a lot of those heavy Latin percussion instruments. Yeah. And I thought that would have been a great play as well, because we do see a lot of this type of style. Like especially through like KARD, right?
Yeah.
It's kind of more closer to KARD's sound, but without as much of the trap underpinnings.
This is going from a different kind of, because I know we've talked about this before with, I believe, Bandit, where they
yes, that's the group that I was trying to think of. Like, because I remember there was another girl group too. Yeah. Thank you.
It feels very much closer to Portuguese. I think
like the Brazilian
Brazilian kind of
that Nick was talking about. Yep.
Yeah, it very much feels more. Again, I'm bad with geography, so if I'm wrong, I'm sorry. I'm trying.
Well, so he's not too far off, because in Brazil they speak a version of Portuguese, because it used to be a Portuguese colony back in the day. So yeah, that's where he's getting the Portuguese from. Don't get don't get the pitchforks out because of that.
I'm really bad with geography, okay?
But the end result was a lot better executed than I thought it would be. I was honestly genuinely afraid of like the overall quality of what will be produced, but
they did a really good job, especially considering this is THANXX is very much a smaller company than
and their only other experience that I know of from them is through SIS. So nothing along these lines.
I mean, the members were part of I Love. Some of the members, not all of them.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay, so they do have some veteran members. Okay.
Yeah, a few of the members are re-debuting from I Love.
Okay. Now, I Love, I'm not too familiar with the group, but they're again, they're another newbie group, so you can ask Nick all about that. But I know I Love did have 2 or 3 releases as a group.
I believe so, and I believe it was from the other company that they were in. I don't remember. I think it might.
Yeah,
this is something that we need Nick for. Okay,
yeah,
this is
sorry,
the
Nick, dude.
One time we need Nick, and he's not here.
For our newest.
Right.
So, but going back to the song and the music video, everything was well produced. As far as like the song itself, the only real complaint that I had was at the pre-chorus and the chorus, they played with the vocals, with the vocal layers to kind of give it the like a male vocalist sound.
Right.
So like it was really disconcerting for me. I don't know, it was kind of like off-putting for me and almost wrecked the experience for me, to be honest, if I'm gonna be fair. But I know for a lot of people that's not gonna bother them, because you do. I don't know about recently, but I know there was a period, maybe 10-15 years ago or so, where they did that a lot in the Latin pop scene.
Yeah, I think that they were trying to draw a little bit of inspiration from that. Yep. Yeah, exactly. So I think that trying to draw inspiration. I could be very much wrong, and because I'm not as musically knowledgeable. Yeah, that's probably as the other two, but I very much feel like it's inspired. Again, I could be very much wrong, and you can call me out, call me an idiot. I don't care.
Or me, same with me, because like the Latin American music scene, I'm not that familiar with either. I have like among the other genres, like I've actually gotten a lot more acquainted through that scene, through K-pop, because of their inspiration that they've been drawing. Like it's been causing me to look into those genres a lot more lately. So I'm still getting my own knowledge up on that as well. So.
Like Bandit and KARD, they are
Bandit, KARD.
They are two of the biggest reasons why I've started looking into genres such as reggaeton.
Yeah, and even from other groups too, like this would be a new group, but LaBoom, and even
Chungha,
G-Friend as well, because they also had a lot of Moombahton trap with Fever.
Right. So, but back to Botopass, this is with it being a re-debut, and there was some issues going on that delayed it. We're not going to talk about it because we don't know the whole story behind what's going on in the back.
Yeah, we have this kind of policy of like whenever there's like negative potentially career ending rumors like that.
Well, it's more
we don't repeat them.
Yeah, so. It's more of if we don't know the whole story. There's
once the whole story is known, once all sides are known, especially like if it's when you're talking about like a pending lawsuit or the case has been settled. Once all those facts are known, we'll talk about it. But like when everything is still hearsay, we don't bother.
And we might never really know,
Exactly.
But for Botopass's debut song itself, like the performance was really good. The choice that the costume designer, design.
The costumes.
Yeah, they're very sleek. It's very much opposite of SIS.
Oh yeah, for sure. I love too like the scene where they're in red. How they really pop against the backdrop. It's black, it's gray for the backdrop, but it really pops, and it sounds simple enough, but that kind of scene can be difficult to pull off because you need to get the lighting down just right. Otherwise, the red will just get washed out. But they have it done in just the right way where it really pops out and doesn't overshadow the girls, like where the clothes are wearing the girls.
Right.
I don't know for those of you who are into fashion, you probably heard that term where it's like, where when they say like the clothes wearing the person, as in like the clothes.
The focus is the
more than
clothes.
the actual person.
Yeah, the clothing is the costume speaks more than the person that it's wearing.
Yep.
That's very much not the case.
In that scene.
That's very much not the case. It's meant to accentuate the members, and it was done really well. And this song, this theme is very much busier than I'm not going to say as busy as ATEEZ or ATEEZ. Yeah. I'm sorry if ATEEZ fans.
Yeah. That's fine, because like a lot of ATEEZ fans also pronounce it as ATEEZ, because I mean, most of that comes from like American or
Western
international viewers who can't read the Hangul, so and that's fine.
But it's not as busy as THANXX, but it's very much busier than you would expect from a smaller company like THANXX, especially when their other girl group is a pure concept.
Yeah, and they did a good job with the cinematography, I thought, because like they weren't afraid to use certain camera techniques. So like they used pans when it was appropriate, they used sweeps when it was appropriate, they tilted, they zoomed, without over relying on any one of those techniques. Like if you remember, like a few months ago, that was kind of like my biggest problem with another group, where it was just way too many action cams. But there was times in this video where they kept perfectly still with the camera. Yeah, because that's all you needed. I had no problems with the cinematography or the lighting, the camera work. I thought I had no real problems here.
Right. Before we get too far into more Botopass, should we go with our last one?
Yes. So this is all you, man. Go for it.
All right. So KARD has just recently released their next song, or their first solo album song. First solo track or whatever. Well, you get what? Yeah, that's the word. Their first single track.
It took me a while to figure out what you're trying to get at.
I couldn't figure it out either. Okay, but it's called Gunshot.
Okay.
So it's a very intense. So I'm going to say this because we didn't talk about one of the songs, but so I watched these songs in order. I watched Yohan, No More. I watched Oh My Girl, Bada Bam, and those are two very cute songs. And then I watched Gunshot. It is musical whiplash. Okay.
Yeah. Talk about like wildly contrasting concepts.
Yeah. I very much feel like this is. It starts out with a little bit of a Latin, but to go back to the song, it very much starts with a little bit of, I could be wrong, with Latin inspiration, but then it kind of dies down as the song kind of progresses.
It was very so, like I was saying earlier, it was very trap. That slow trap, heavily reliant on the those heavy percussion instruments to keep a heavy momentum going, because it's so low tempo. The Latin sound is there. Kind of more in the realm of like reggae, really more of reggaeton with the instrumentation.
Yeah.
So because that's the way that beat swings, it's definitely in that realm. So you're right.
Yeah.
It's there. So
and this. So I'm actually surprised. I actually really like this song. It's overly aggressive. If you haven't
the song and the imagery too is all very aggressive, and I never would have thought that you would have enjoyed a song like this. So
it's got so many layers. But if you watch the theme, you read the lyrics, it's about the turmoil of basically a toxic relationship.
Okay.
So it's like you're the one who they're singing as if they're the one that's in love with someone who is basically abusing them, who is causing them emotional or physical harm. And you see two sides of them, where they're bloodied or they're like basically in pain, and the other side where it looks like that they're fine, there's no injury, like visible injuries. But that's the basics of a toxic relationship. It feels like the destruction. It feels like there's so much like pain, but you still care about that person who is being toxic, the desire to be with them, and that turmoil.
The turmoil of like, do I stay or do I go? Being afraid of leaving, like that kind of turmoil.
No, it's the turmoil to kind of try to figure out if it's worth it. Like if that love is worth the pain. And obviously, I'm not saying like abusive, toxic relationships are worth it. I'm never going to say that. But it's because it very much feels like something that, you know, I've been through a few toxic relationships, and I've talked to people who have been in toxic relationships, and the lyrics, all of it, the imagery is almost a very similar feeling, you know, that you feel like you want to keep on loving them, because you want them in your life, but they kind of break you down, and it's such a deep and harmful thing, and you don't always realize it, that it's causing you harm. And seeing it being portrayed in this music video has so much of a deeper meaning that I just couldn't stop being drawn into it. And then as you watch it, it's when you see the body bags, the members kind of basically destroying themselves. It's basically being in that toxic, wanting to continue on with a toxic relationship is almost like destroying yourself on the inside. That's the basic turmoil that it's going through, until it reaches that boiling point where you just can't take it anymore.
I mean, that's kind of what I was talking about earlier about that fear of not being in a relationship, because do I stay, do I go, is the relationship worth it? Afraid of being alone, being without that love. So I don't know, it's toxic relationships is never really. I've seen way too many people get so caught up in a lot of that type of mindset, getting stuck in those relationships. Right. And even myself, I've been in a toxic relationship before, but it wasn't something long term either. So right. That's something I learned real quick to like cut that off before it progresses it to anything crazy. So yep.
So like, I mean, again, because I know a lot of people have been in abusive relationships too, and I'm going to say, if anyone's in an abusive relationship, it's not worth it. You're worth so much better than being in an abusive relationship. But how this song kind of portrays it, how this song kind of shows how destructive a toxic and abusive relationship can actually harm you, especially if you keep on going after it, is something. And I could be taking this in a completely wrong term, and that's not anything what this song means. But that's my interpretation of the song. It does hit me in a way where I just really enjoy the song.
So because of the music video, the music video is what got you into the song?
Mm-hmm. Well, the lyrics too, because they're all translated lyrics. I don't know how accurate the translations are, but
okay.
And then to go off of like the camera work, the camera work, the ambiance, the set pieces, it was all well created, and the makeup artist did an amazing job to basically show the harm. And then J-Seth, when they put the hood over him, you know, it's kind of reminded me of someone that was going in for an execution. To I don't know if you watched any of the old like medieval movies where they would cover their head and then kind of
put him in the guillotine.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. That's what it reminded me of. It's like almost like you're preparing for death kind of thing. But yeah.
Right on.
But
ready for the
music video of the week? Yeah. Since that got dark for the ending.
Yeah, there's no way to salvage that. So,
nope.
You know, I think my pick of the week, I want to go with Kim Yohan.
Yohan? Okay.
Yeah. So, I mean, don't get me wrong. I still really enjoy Cravity and ATEEZ.
Mm-hmm.
But Kim Yohan, man, come on now. I'm not gonna deny that, man. He's great. So, what'd you pick? Weird. I wonder.
I'm gonna have to go with Yohan.
What? With how much? With you literally spent the whole section of KARD talking about KARD.
Yeah.
Like I left the entire section up to you.
You did. And KARD is a very close second. It is like it. So Yohan beats them by 0.5%.
Oh man! All right. Well then.
What? You think I'm not gonna throw you a curveball? Of course I'm gonna throw you a curveball.
So wait a minute. We because Nick's not here. We can't call it an all kill.
No.
It has to be all three members are present to be an all kill.
You know he's gonna pick Botopass. Come on.
Oh yeah. Well, it's either them or like 80s.
Yeah. So.
Or KARD actually. Yeah, there's no way of guessing which way Nick would go on that. So, quick shots. Let's move on to our quick shots. We'll waste more time.
Alright.
So, Oh My Girl has done a collab with a couple artists, Keanu Silva, who did the musical accompaniment, and I'm not sure how to pronounce his name. Mugleta? I don't know. Yeah. I mean, you'll see on screen anyway. So, song title is Rocket Ride. Very much a EDM dance track. So, if you love that kind of stuff, like I do, check it out. So, on to our next piece, which is also has to do with Oh My Girl. Oh My Girl member, Yua, probably the most popular member. Actually, I think she is the most popular member. She's got her upcoming solo debut, titled Bon Voyage, that's coming up. So it should be releasing in less than 2 weeks from now, as of this recording, the week after this episode airs. So,
okay.
On to you, Aura.
Alright, so we've talked about this before. We mentioned it quite a bit. LiQWYD's project group with Wasa and everyone else. Yeah, and Jesse.
Jesse.
So there is a name for, or at least a project name. It is Refund Sisters. or refund expedition, depending on when you read the article about it. But right now, I believe it's called Refund Sisters. It could very much change again, but since they have a name, I believe it should be fairly soon. So I'm definitely looking forward to that. And then in news related to it, you know, Hyori is also hoping to get pregnant soon. So if that happens, you know, this project group will end if she gets pregnant, is what she said.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Wow, and she's like in her 40s already. Okay, well, I mean,
yeah. I mean,
good luck to her, you know.
Right. Very much hope that she gets pregnant soon.
Yeah, you know, get an addition to the family. So
yeah.
All right, so on to our last bit of news. Billboard released their top 100 greatest MV artists of all time. 3 K-pop acts are on there. So you have BTS ranked 74th, Red Velvet at 52nd, and Girls' Generation at 57th. So really exciting to see that. So congratulations to all those involved. So,
right.
So, I mean, now that we've had a great positive ending to our episode, let's go ahead and wrap this up.
All right.
So, thank you for watching. Please like, comment, and subscribe. We have a Twitter. Please check us out on Twitter.
Join us on Discord.
Join us on Discord. You know, we like to hype it up, fanboy it up on there. So join us there, and to help keep ahead of all the releases, all the latest releases as they come out. Mm-hmm. If you want to stay up to date, we can help you with that.
We have a Patreon.
So additional content around there. Please go ahead and check that out, and your support will be appreciated.
Yeah.
So,
all right.
So this has been Understand Nation. Thank you and bye.
Adios.